Spoilers!
Oh man, so you know what that means. This is officially our first Spoilercast.
That's right. And for the first one, we thought we'd start with a bang with Godzilla.
Godzilla!
Oh, watashi wa Godzilla. So earlier we were talking, and you were telling me about your favorite part with Ken Watanabe.
Yes, it was the whole Godzilla part.
Well, oh, you mean we call him Godzilla.
And I think the whole theater clapped or laughed, or both, when he said that. It was perfect.
This is a nice little nod to the old 50s and 60s Godzilla movies.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, we're going to be doing our first spoiler cast of Godzilla. And then afterwards, we're going to have a kaiju discussion.
Well, let's face it, there's going to be kaiju discussion in between.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Interweaved between there.
Indeed.
So, I was looking online to try to help me with a synopsis of this. I think I came up with a pretty good one of the Godzilla movie.
Crap on a stick?
I didn't ask for the final rating yet, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I will hold my thumbs down till the end.
So, Godzilla, the new Godzilla, it's basically about where two kaiju eggs were discovered in 1999 in the Philippines. One hatches, and then days later, an earthquake happens in Japan. One of their nuclear reactors melts down. Some people die. And then the other egg is, like, shipped to Nevada, like, out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere.
But we don't know that until halfway through the movie, because they never acknowledge the second egg.
Exactly.
Until, like, an hour and 45 minutes later.
Exactly, yeah. And then it hatches in 2014. And basically, it's about a movie where these two kaiju try to mate, leaving a trail of destruction in America. And the U.S. tries to get their military to fight these kaiju. They don't know what to do, so who do they go to kill it? Godzilla.
Well, let's face it. The movie was not about Godzilla and the two kaiju. Okay, those were secondary players.
It was about the love story.
I'm not exactly sure what it was about, because there were so many plot lines going on in this movie. The first half of the movie with Bryan Cranston, Mr. Walter White.
Yep.
What the fuck were they doing with that?
Right?
I'm sorry for the language, but seriously, they spent 45 minutes of this movie setting up this plot line with Bryan Cranston and his son and the death of his wife to throw it out the window.
Yeah.
And that is bullshit.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I am upset that I paid $30 to see this movie. I honestly did not care for it. I know we're supposed to hold our review or our final scores till the end, but this movie was terrible. I mean, all the trailers looked really great.
Oh, the trailers look fantastic. I can't really tell. I can't really decide if that's what made it such a letdown. By seeing all these trailers and by having all that hype, that I went in there going, oh my God, this movie is going to absolutely blow me away. And then when I got there and when I was watching them, like,
Yeah. As I said to you when we got out of the movie, it looked like the director watched a bunch of movies like Jurassic Park and, maybe some of the old 50s Godzilla versus Mothra.
Right.
And said, hey, I can do that.
Yeah.
And decided to do a movie.
Yeah.
Now, this director is also supposed to be taking over one of the new Star Wars films, and I am severely afraid.
Oh, that's right. He's doing one of the spin-offs.
Yeah, which we have no idea what it's going to be about.
Right.
But $5 says he puts Godzilla in it just for kicks.
That would be
no
kind of awesome. No. I'd actually like that. Maybe as a blooper, like, if they're testing out some CGI or something, and then all of a sudden Godzilla walks in.
We can only hope that JJ doesn't let that happen. In JJ we trust. But anyway, getting off topic here.
Yes.
As we always do. It seemed like this was a apocalypse story with a love story, and there just happened to be a few kaiju mixed in with their Godzilla. Now, there were elements of the movie that I did enjoy.
Yes.
Like, anytime they panned over to one of the brief kaiju fights, just the way that the flying kaiju swooped in was so spot on with the old style Godzilla movies.
Oh, totally.
It's like you're looking for wires.
Right.
Which would have been awesome.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I don't know if he was trying to go for campy or what.
Right.
But this movie missed the mark for me.
You know, after we initially saw it, I was on the fence. Like, I liked it, but I didn't love it. You know, like you, I was a little bit let down. You know, I thought there would just be a lot more of frickin' Godzilla, a lot more frickin' kaiju fighting, like just something. And as I went home, I thought about it more, and I was like, wow, that was a disappointment. Now, I'm not talking Matthew Broderick Godzilla disappointment.
I actually enjoyed that one more.
Really? Wow. See, I thought, for me, this movie had a lot of hype behind it, and I think I may have ruined it because I watched the trailer, and basically every fucking scene that the trailer's shown were in the damn movie, and that was really disappointing. With a couple of kaiju scenes just thrown in, it was just all in the trailers, and I was like, well, this sucks, you know?
But that's what a trailer is for. A trailer is supposed to get you hyped up
Right.
and get you on the track and get you warmed up for the movie. But this was like, hey, we're going to do the trailer this way, and the movie is a completely opposite take on it.
Right.
You know, because in the trailer, they made it seem like Godzilla was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Godzilla was destroying San Francisco. It was disappointing because I was expecting, you know, a lot more of Godzilla was crushing the city.
Right.
You know, the army's going in to attack him. They're going to, you know, have these soldiers halo jump onto Godzilla's back to stick explosives in him. You know, that's where my mind was going with
Okay.
it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they bring up these two kaiju, which
Right.
honestly was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Right.
Because I'm thinking, okay, inside that pod is Godzilla. That's
Right.
Godzilla in that pod.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
get out. He's going to fuck shit up.
Right.
But no, here comes this cockroach thing crawling out of this pod with the little blinky lights everywhere. And I'm like, I see what you did there, movie.
Now, you know what the kaiju reminded me of? They reminded me of the
bug.
Panther cassette from Transformers that Shockwave had that he would pull out.
Yeah.
They looked just like that. Their face and everything. I was like,
No, see, you know what they actually reminded me of?
Huh.
The bugs from Starship Troopers.
yes.
With all the little curved
Totally.
parts.
Oh my God. Totally.
Which goes back to what I was saying earlier about the director sat down, watched a bunch of movies, and
Yeah.
said, hey, let's put it all into one.
Right.
Well, and I mean, there was a total nod to Jurassic Park in there. Mm-hmm. With what were they feeding it? They were feeding it
Radiation.
something. Well, I know they were feeding it radiation, but it was,
Atomic waste or some stuff.
No, I'm talking about the scene with where he's in the van and there's a glass above him, and all of a sudden, like an arm or a leg hits the glass, and he's like, "Ooh." You know, right as the first kaiju is breaking out of the little Jurassic Park area.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's like total. I don't know if it was just an acknowledgement that gave him inspiration,
Right.
but it seemed to me like it was just a blatant ripoff because
Right.
it was almost a shot for shot.
Right.
But that's my take on it. you
Yeah.
know?
You asked me a question at the movie theater. Is this something that you would go out and buy? You know, at first I was like, But because I like Godzilla so damn much, and it was just way better, in my opinion, than the Matthew Broderick, yes, I would go buy it. But I am only going to buy it if it's in the frickin' bargain bin. I'm sorry, but I am not going to spend, because I have a PlayStation 3 and I want to buy it on Blu-ray, of course, you know.
Well, you got to.
Yeah.
It's a waste of your money to buy it on DVD.
Exactly.
Anymore.
I want to buy it on Blu-ray. I want to buy it on the Blu-ray combo pack that costs $30, you know. But I am not going to spend $30 on,
Crap.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Again, the thing that really drove me crazy was, honestly, in my opinion, there was not enough monster scenes.
I agree.
That movie was about an hour too long. They could have made that whole movie in about an hour and a half instead of close to 2.5 hours. I mean, come on. You know, the whole Bryan Cranston thing didn't even need to be there.
No,
He's
he was
only
just there for star power.
Exactly, which was ridiculous. The whole thing focused on this, like, meathead of a frickin' guy. And
Who had an extremely high-pitched voice.
yeah.
I know.
Can you kill him? Can we kill him? He looks really mean.
I'm scared.
I mean, it's pretty bad when the freaking female lead role has a more manly voice than the male role. And, you know, she wasn't butch or anything by any means.
No.
I think her name's Elizabeth Olsen. You know, she's one of the Olsen twins, like, older sisters.
Oh, really?
Or
No
maybe
way.
younger sisters, yeah. I've never even heard of her. I didn't even know that they even had a sister. So it was kind of cool to see her in something, and I hope she gets recognition for it.
No, I agree. I mean, she was one of the better actors in that movie.
Yeah, she really was.
He is the actor from Kick-Ass.
Really? Was he the main guy?
Yeah, he was Kick-Ass.
Wow.
Yeah, well, you play enough roles where you're a teenager, you're going to be stuck as a teenager forever.
Wow.
Oh,
He's gotten, wow.
Yeah, his IMDb is actually pretty long, but they're all minor roles, with one exception.
Okay.
He's in the new Avengers movie.
What?
He's Quicksilver.
Oh, God. Are you kidding me?
No.
Who's directing or producing Avengers 2? Is it Joss Whedon?
That's the Mighty Mighty Joss.
I think we need to make a phone call.
Who are we going to call? Ghostbusters?
Call someone. I don't know, but
We'll
my
start
God.
an online petition.
Right? Maybe start with the whitehouse.gov and then get enough people where they go,
They wouldn't even kick Justin Bieber out of the country. They're not going to
that's
listen
true.
to this.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, at least he's not as much of a D-bag as Bieber. At least.
And apparently he's English.
What?
According to IMDb, Aaron Perry Johnson, who goes by the screen name Aaron Taylor Johnson, I share a name with him, is an English actor whose professional work includes performances on stage, television, and in feature films. Okay, his resume sounds really, really good.
Yeah.
IMDb has a 3 for an actor's score. 3 out of 10.
Oh, my God. Well, you know, it shows.
It does.
It shows.
Although
in
I
Godzilla.
did like him in Kick-Ass, but that's because he was a whimpering little bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently this guy, his performance in Godzilla was not up to par.
No, and, you know, I think that was a big part of it. The whole problem with Godzilla was you couldn't make a connection with any of the characters, not even the girl. I mean, it was...
I felt for Bryan Cranston. You know, that whole scene where the radiation doors are closing
Right.
and his wife's doing the Spock, you know,
Right.
I have been and always will be your wife. You know, look at me quoting Star Trek.
I know, look at you. Jeez.
But, you know, that scene got me. You know, it was like, oh, the feels.
The feels, right in the feels.
Low blow. That was about where I got off the boat. The only other time that I was like emotionally invested in the movie was when Godzilla appeared to be down for the count.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what in the hell?
It's like, you can't kill off Godzilla, not
Right.
after you built him up to be this big hero.
Well, there were a couple times where Godzilla looked like that was it, you know? And then I think the really cool part is when his whole spine lit up blue.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
and I was like, okay, that's freaking cool. The whole atomic breath thing, that
was pretty awesome. I'll give you that.
You know, and with that being said, you know, there were some good parts.
Like ripping the head off the kaiju.
Oh my God, that ending scene was amazing.
I know it sounds like right now we're really liking this movie, but if you notice, the only cool parts we thought were the monster fights.
Exactly. Which, yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, the monster fights were great when they had them.
Yeah, when it wasn't just a quick little, oh, there's the monsters. Now back to the people.
Well, yeah, because you would see, like, the monster. Oh, my God. It was the biggest, like, cock tease.
It totally
You know,
was.
the whole freaking movie was, like, the biggest cock tease. It would, like, show Godzilla and the Muto, like, going after each other, and then the doors would close.
And then back to the people.
And then back to the people. I'm like...
Although, I do have to say, one of my favorite parts with the people, or the military, is when you have Godzilla and the kaiju in the background fighting.
Yeah.
Like, just duking it out.
Yeah.
And here are the people just bobbing up and down carrying this giant nuclear bomb. You know, it's like... Just,
That
"Run
was
away!"
ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. And they were like, let's go to the boat. Let's go to the boat. And I'm like, oh
Get to
my
the
God.
chopper.
Right? And it wasn't until like one of them, like, I don't know, like farted or something that the kaiju went, huh? And then like started going after them.
God, that whole thing.
Like, but at least that led up to the cool, head ripping off
It
scene.
did.
I mean, that was...
But let's talk about the plot devices. Shall we? Just for the moment.
Okay.
Okay. The whole, we're going to carry the bomb to the boat. Okay, I'm going to stay behind and do something. Oh, hey, look, there just happens to be a truck full of gasoline in this pit with all these eggs. I know. Oh, and hey, look at that. The one nozzle on this truck is not buried under rubble.
Right.
I'll just kick it open, and magically gravity spits the gasoline out.
Yeah. Yeah. And oh, look, I can light it. And then, all the eggs are gone.
What did he even light it with? Did he like shoot it?
I think so. I think he had like his pistol or something. I can't remember.
We
but...
live in an age where Mythbusters exist.
Right.
And they have proven that even with a fully lit cigarette immersed in the gasoline, it does not ignite. A single bullet will not ignite gasoline unless you shoot it and like it ricochets and sparks.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
he
shot the tanker. That's the only thing I can think of.
Well, they didn't show it, so you don't know.
Yeah.
All they show is him shooting into a hole.
Right.
Yeah. Plot device.
Right. Well, at least that means these stupid little mudos aren't gonna, or kaiju or mudos, same thing.
Well, they've already been approved to do 2 sequels.
Right, which I'm excited about, but I really, God, I hope they do a better job.
Okay, for those of you at home, this is me hitting my head against the desk. I'm sorry. I do not want to see 2 more craptacular movies.
But it's Godzilla.
It's Godzilla. Hopefully, the directors, the powers that be, listen to this podcast and know that we don't give a shit about the people. We give a shit about you guys, but not in these Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
We want to see monster on monster action.
That sounded dirty.
Giggity. We want to see them duking it out,
Yeah. And that was the great thing about the old kaiju movies from Japan.
It wasn't about the people.
Exactly. I mean, hello, the plots in those movies were terrible.
Terrible.
They were just as bad, if not worse, than this. But it was the cheesiness and the awesomeness that these monster scenes were.
Yeah.
They had the little miniature. I mean, let's face it. They didn't have the
guy in a rubber suit, practical effects.
Yeah. They didn't have the technology they do now, and it was awesome. I mean, I think my favorite and most hysterical part of one of the old Godzilla fights was when Godzilla did this sliding drop kick when he was sliding on his tail. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life, but it was also one of the most awesome things
It's epic.
I've seen in my life. Now, granted, I think nowadays if you were trying to do a big blockbuster movie with that scene in it, you get a lot of shit. Unless you were doing a parody, like a scary lizard, or like a scary movie monster.
Which is coming very soon.
Oh, yeah. If it's not already done by now. But still, I don't know where the hell I was going with that.
That's okay.
But,
I didn't either. But hey, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, so the guy in the Mothra suit, when they used to suspend him from wires, okay, do you think they just left that guy up there and went to lunch on occasion? Because they used to do the same shit to Kenny Baker when he was in the R2-D2 costume.
Right.
They'd leave him in the suit and go to lunch. And I could just imagine some little tiny Japanese guy, oh, where did everybody go? I was going to try and say something in Japanese, but I lost it. It's just, I can imagine that happening because let's face it, people in Hollywood or Tokyo Wood or whatever their film studio is there, they think about themselves. It's like, hey, I'm thinking I forgot about something here. Oh shit, we left the guy in the Mothra suit. Yeah, he'll be fine for another half hour.
Yeah. So I mean, high points of this. The fight scenes were awesome. I wish there were frickin' more of them. I thought they looked great. I think they looked super realistic as realistic as you can get.
The CGI was pretty decent.
Yeah, the CGI was really decent. I mean, I think they did a good job with trying to stay true. I mean, I think they paid a really good homage to Godzilla, and I think...
But it was like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
I think it was just like everything else in this movie. It was just a nod.
Right.
You know, but you can't do a movie called Godzilla just doing little nods to Godzilla.
Right. Yeah.
This movie is horrible. Okay. Originally, I started out, 3 out of 5 stars.
Right.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
I'm going to change that.
Yeah.
That's 2 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
I mean, there were cool parts that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But overall, the movie was crap.
Right.
And, I mean, I want to know what you guys think. What did you guys think about the movie? Did you enjoy it? Do you agree with us? Do you think we're full of crap? Let us know.
Yeah.
Comments.
Yeah. Hit us up on Facebook, on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Average Geek Show Official, or hit us up on Twitter, twitter.com @Average Geek Show. And, for me, I think I was, at the time, I was around like a 3.5 or a 4 even.
Yeah.
I am like down to like a 2.75 or something, or like a 2.5. I mean, it's...
you're giving it the point.
Right? No, I think I'm like about a 2.5, honestly, because while I don't feel gypped, I feel that it could have been a hell of a lot better. I think they're on the right track, but I think that they need to, unfortunately, I don't think this did really well, really freaking well in the movie theater.
It's all because of the trailer.
Right. And yeah, exactly. It's all because of the trailer. And yeah, because the second week it didn't do good.
I think this week, from this weekend's box office numbers, it was in at number 4.
Right.
And you've got like rom-coms coming in ahead of Godzilla.
Right.
Which should say something, because good movies stay consistently like 1 or 2
exactly
for a few weeks.
Exactly, like the Avengers movie. I mean, that stayed 1 or 2 for weeks.
But let's face it,
No.
that's Joss Whedon. Come on.
But I think if they had a different producer or director, okay, they can keep the director, but a different producer.
No, it's not. It's not even that. I mean, the director is not the one writing the material.
Right.
Whoever the writer is needs to be shot.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not shot, maybe just retrained. But I mean, because
slapped.
It had potential.
Yes.
I mean, the movie did have potential.
Yes.
The visual effects were great. The acting was kind of...
Yeah.
We're looking at like Star Wars Episode 2 level of acting here. With the exception of Bryan Cranston. He needs an Oscar for that role. You killed my wife! And I want answers! Oh, guess what? You're not getting answers. You're dead.
You're dead.
But no...
It was almost as bad as when Steven Seagal died.
Please.
Well,
I had more invested in Bryan Cranston than I would have ever had in Steven Seagal. Please, he's no Chuck Norris.
Oh, whoa.
Chuck Norris!
That I will definitely agree with you on.
Final review, you got 2 stars from me, 2.5 from Philippe.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you really, really want to see this movie and have not seen it yet, wait.
Yeah, go to Redbox or rent it.
Yeah.
Because
wait 6 months, it'll be out on Netflix.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Do not spend your money on this.
Well, if you are, spend as little as possible.
If it goes into the dollar theaters.
There you go.
When it goes in the dollar theaters, or I think like universities, they have like the discount theater for $5,
$5 is pushing it. $5 is pushing it. This is one of those movies where you want to be able to pause it and just walk away.
Or at least fast forward to the kaiju scenes, because that's what really matters.
I'm waiting for Godzilla the YouTube cut, where it's just nothing but the monster fights.
I heard somewhere that Godzilla was actually only on screen, and this is counting just like his leg shots and everything, for a total of 12 minutes. How in the hell?
Out of each movie?
No. Out of this movie.
Oh, out of this movie.
How in the hell can you have a Godzilla movie with only 12 minutes of Godzilla. I'm sorry.
When your movie is 2.5 hours long. Okay, wait. We have to talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
The scene where they're on the tracks. They're on the train tracks.
Yes.
And the kaiju comes up and does its, Tyrannosaurus Rex, I'm looking at you with one eye thing.
Oh, that was totally Jurassic Park right there.
Right. But then it gets up and starts walking away, and you see this swinging sack between its legs. Okay, first of all, gratuitous nut shot.
Right? Seriously.
Okay, even though it was the female and it was the egg sack.
Right.
Second of all, there's two heavily armed soldiers on the bridge.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive I saw a grenade launcher underslung on one of those things.
Yeah.
It's like, boom, one shot, all the eggs go.
All the eggs go. And granted, the alien probably would have still lived and would have killed them all, which would have been cool. But still, the second one, they're going to try to... Those little shits. Yeah, one of the eggs got loose or somehow... Yeah, exactly. And it's going to climb up from somebody's house or toilet or something.
Mommy, there's something in the toilet.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Jurassic Park. Lost World. Tyrannosaurus Rex eats the dog. Yeah. I'm sensing a theme here.
Right? Seriously.
I'm sorry. This is definitely a rent, not buy.
Yeah.
I don't support pirating. Good luck finding it. This is one of those movies.
Yeah,
where
it was just way too overly hyped and was a disappointment. Yeah. And even for me, and I'm a big freaking Godzilla fan. I've loved Godzilla since I was little, and I watched almost all of the old Godzilla movies.
Even Godzilla versus Frankenstein?
I did not know that until before we started recording this podcast. You were like, Frankenstein is considered a kaiju, and
yes.
I've never considered Frankenstein a kaiju, but I guess technically he is.
Well, he was like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, so just so you're aware, the movie that we're referencing is Frankenstein Conquers the World. It's 1965, and yes, it is Godzilla versus Frankenstein. It is... I want to see it. It's got to be better than this movie. It has to be. Because, that's when movies were campy, because they were trying. That's how cult films get started.
Yeah, of course.
So I definitely want to try and look this up, because the poster for it just looks hilarious.
Oh my god.
It's Frankenstein swinging Godzilla around by the tail. Except they have Godzilla listed as Baragon.
Baragon, huh?
Baragon.
Huh. Interesting. And this was a Japanese film, not an American film?
Yep. It's a Japanese film directed by Ishiro Honda.
Huh.
It's a Honda. You know it's going to be good.
Of course.
So, yeah, definitely check it out. I'm sure you can find it pretty easily.
Yeah,
it
I
might
wonder
even
if
be
like
up
on
YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
So, with that, I think we're going to close this spoiler cast down.
We'll see you next time. 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 We'll see you next time.